to kick us off. Let's see a big booming one and get some yellows and reds popping all over the place and get going properly tonight. It's a bit more like it. It is amazing how much the balls do dictate, and we use that phrase all the time on this show. We are being slightly facetious in the way that we're, well, I shouldn't drag you along with me, the way that I'm talking about that first match, Simon, but ultimately it was sort of dictated to by the way the balls came out. Shaun and Scott did exactly what they had to do, but this excites me a little bit more.
Yeah, two very difficult layouts, and this might be another one as well. Now that that red hasn't popped out the way, they probably should pull back here. The only problem with pulling back is the loss of turn is a real option, and the loss of turn could just change things if they do decide to do that. So got to be careful here. Well, they're going to keep going, but they're going to have to play a very good shot. Could stay high on this next ball. I was thinking a little bit higher than that. I was thinking really high, and then you can track the top left-hand corner. You only need a little control, and you then still have one over the pocket if you need it. Might have to force this one too much. Let's see. Well, that's all they've tried. It's a beautiful shot.
Shot of the night so far from Yasar Hussain. That's a belter.
Not out the woods yet, but I think the 8-ball goes in the same pocket as the yellow to top left, so I don't think there's too much concern here. You could just drop this in and then kind of let the cue ball just float towards the middle of the table. May not get perfect on the 8-ball, but he's going to look 2 cushions. Probably worth it. The line is going to be there. You just got to find the right one. Pick the pocket quite a bit here because it's so close. Just got it too thin.
He's got a shot.
He's got away with that.
Yeah. Only place beyond that red that you'd want to land, but he has found it. There's the gap. An 8-ball is in from James Hawksworth. Our first break and run of the night. And that was with a little bit of luck at the end, which I think Yasser's acknowledging there. But that was a really classy out from the Yorkshire pairing.
It was. The first shot didn't go to plan, and I'm saying that maybe it's time to pull back. But I think they'd have been behind in the tactical exchange had they done that. There was no good hiding place. And I felt that Reds would have taken control. So I think sometimes you do feel forced into taking on a low percentage as it had become. But they worked out a really nice way of dealing with their problem. And it was only one problem to deal with. It was excellent.
And Patel just remembering which cue to use to break off. The Hitman and the Bandit. Was hit with feeling, and for the first time this evening, I'm going to say we've been presented with a chance off the break, which for someone with Hitten's obvious quality and calibre, he is a good favourite to make them.
Yeah, more than a good favourite. First shot could be the trickiest, actually. Just got to get the cue ball right. Pot isn't too bad. To tell you, he did make it, and he has got the cue ball. That's absolutely ideal. Now it should get out. It's just now you can pick your route, which way do you want to go. Quite clear mind here of the route you want. You can get yourself in a mess just a little bit at the back end if you're not careful. I mean, it is pretty wide open though. That's not ideal. Wanted to be on the one to left centre, and 8 ball blocks it. Now this is slightly on the thin side. Might play 1.5 across and try and get back to where he wanted to be previously.
Yeah, nicked a bit of angle there as well. I think because he's popped on the real thick side of the pocket, he's now above the 8 ball, and I think he was really planning on being below it.
Agreed. But he's okay. The only thing is that he's just left himself in a position where I assume he goes top left here. Easy to play on top right. Then the 8 ball plays big, playing on the next yellow. So maybe that's what he's looking at. Do you take the one to left centre now and let the cue ball come round? If its natural line is 2 cushions, if its natural line is left cushion and middle of the bottom cushion, I like this. It makes it cleaner. Oh, but don't miss the pot. Spoke at the start as we were building up to this match and talking about Hitten, and he backs his potting over his cue ball and his patterns. And for Hitten to become a more consistent player, I'd love to see him really analyse a layout like that. That a player at his level, you know, a player that makes semi-finals of pro events, that's a layout you need to be taking out just on repeat in clinical fashion. And every now and then Hitten will just get himself in a little mess like he did there. It's one of the areas he just lets himself down a touch.
Safety shot from James Hawksworth, who wasn't on anything really. Hitten was a touch lucky in that regard. Big shot coming up. You can see he backs his potting. That was seriously tough. I think, strangely for James Hawksworth, it might have served him if Hitten had actually made that, because I don't think the next yellow was obvious.
Well, he wasn't on anything, was he? I don't know where he was going if he had potted it. Unless he was thinking of, do you think he could hold on the double maybe? James said, just play safe. Just let Hitten have a look at something. Going to try and go. He was trying to go in a similar way to how they cleared up the last one, which was to go high on the pot to bottom left and track up, but the 8 ball now blocks his work.
It's a great thing. Looking for the loss of turn. Is he going to get second prize? He is. And he's going to make both. Would you believe it? About the worst thing that could possibly happen, and he couldn't do it again if he tried.
Yeah, didn't want to make either and makes both. He wanted the yellow in at the top right. It would have been fine if he'd missed the yellow but both reds had stayed on the table. That would have been absolutely no problem whatsoever. Now he's in a situation where he's got to find a line, but more than likely this could end up being a bit of hit and hope. I don't know whether he can play this thin and it could go 3 cushions. No, it just wasn't on. Nothing was on.
That's a tough one to take, really. Because if one of them stays up, there's maybe something he can do, but the fact both go down.
But it's why I look at the beginning of the visit, I look at that and just go, just play safe. Just try and hide the yellow over top right, and try and make Hitten do something with the others, and maybe opens up his balls in doing so. A little bit too aggressive for me.
I'd probably agree.
90% of the ball players out there probably don't, though. They all like to play aggressively.
Heard from Yasar in his interview with James that James is a great listener, a very coachable young player, and he'll be absorbing as much as he can from tonight, the positives and the negatives. Patel looking for a positive of his own. And Patel just doesn't seem to miss those kind of 8 balls. Out the pocket from the hit man. And these two are on the board.
Never expect Hitten to ever miss anything like that. He is such a clean potter. I know he missed one in that frame, which is rare. But he missed it because he was getting himself in trouble. He's working hard on the cue ball. Yasar's first break was excellent. Looking for the same again here.
Core.
Not the same quality of break, but a very good outcome.
Yeah, what about the outcome? That's incredible, isn't it? Complete miss hit from the Wolf, who is a mile off target with where he wanted that cue ball to go, but doesn't really matter. It stayed on the table. That is the most important thing. And these are pretty nice, especially now. Although straight isn't ideal.
Yeah, what do you do with a yellow bottom left? Just thinking it through to the 8-ball. You have to really work hard with that cue ball to get onto the 8-ball from there, unless you land really good on it. With the temptation to leave it last is probably quite high. See, Key is getting on this one on the left-hand side. He might have an angle to do that now. If he's got the right angle to come for it here, I like it. Might have to play on the plant here. Sort of almost jab it. It's not straight, the plant, either. And there's a big gap. Can he get this back far enough to play on the loose one? So you play on the one down the table, but that's not necessarily a good ball, because you might still end up on the plant. Depends how he sees it. You could go bottom left here, just as long as you keep the cue on the right-hand side of the table, then you've got the thin clip, and come back round for the one nearest the red at the top of the table.
Extension calls.
Yeah, it's probably got to be the play, hasn't it?
Could be the move.
Yeah, I just think the plant might leave him off angle anyway. And I think one really good positional shot here, the pot's a given, one really good positional shot wins the frame.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be one really good positional shot.
He still needs one, yeah, that's the thing. It didn't change. Even if you're playing the yellow to bottom left to get on the 8-ball, it's still one really good positional shot where you've got to miss the reds and get back to the middle of the table. So I think I preferred it previously, but this is the way he's seen it, so he's going to have to play a very good controlled shot here, and that's not it.
Disaster for the Wolf. And the Bandit comes in to try and rob the frame. Grimace from Yasar Hussain, you can see why. Big moment potentially in the match with 7 minutes to go.
Shouldn't be any issues to get out here. Nice clean open table.
I think as well, if you're Jaspal Bhandal, what a frame to start.
Yeah, I suppose, yes. You forget that it's frame 3, but this is his first visit to the table. A little bit straight on this one at the top. He's not going to get close to his next ball, but I would suggest straight in on the one nearest bottom right. You pretty much can't fail from there, because you make that. You're just connecting dots. You don't necessarily need to get close to the ball, but the angle on it would be nice. The inside one goes anyway, so he had more angle than it looked. No problem coming down. That's perfect.
Even though this was a very simple finish for Jaspal Bhandal, the fact that he got that cue ball right there to leave himself these sort of 4 balls last, it's already quite a good sign for him, I would lightly suggest.
Yeah, just get cue through a few, get used to it, get a feel out there under competition.
I think as well just shows that he's thinking really clearly, because I mean we saw with Hitten's frame, like even the sort of the ones that appear simple, that can be easy to trip up on if you're not completely on it. But that was Jaspal Bhandal completely on it, and he was perfect. 2-1.
Agreed. Very good, and they take the lead.
Now we do have a 14-year-old in the arena, but it's Jaspal Bhandal. He's a naughty schoolboy. Took his shirts in.
Yeah. Always sort of makes me smile, some of the traditions in the sport. You've got to be very formal when you tuck your shirt in, but you've got to also run around the table and play really quickly at times as well. So, a bit of fun.
Frame 4. Bandal out to break. Leading 2 frames to 1.
And it's Bandal with the break next up. 5 minutes left. Clock stops at this stage if the balls are being racked. 15-second shot clock is now in play. Booming break from the Bandit. And a brilliant layout for Patel and Bandal here to go back-to-back in frames and go 3-1 in front from 1-0 down.
If the red then nearest to goes through the gap of the other reds to the corner, then this is lovely. Yeah, now really a case of when do you go up for the 2 at the top and how do you go up for the 2 at the top. They're the only 2 that can get awkward for you if you just land awkward trying to connect the 2 together. Played here on purpose so they can just drift up the right-hand side of the table. I think there's more room to play on the plan than it looks, and if you do that, you should be on the ball that's moving.
Oh, but don't miss the ball. Hussain and James Hawksworth leap out of their chairs because this is a massive chance to tie the game. Big miss.
Does the yellow that's on the left-hand side squeeze in off the red, opening up the pocket a fraction? They don't necessarily need that pocket, but that's probably the easiest way of dealing with that ball. One on the bottom cushion not to forget about as well. A bit short.
It's a big pocket though, needs to be. He's made that look so much easier than it was.
Just come out a little awkward here. Very, very thin on this ball now. Tricky cutback. Keep your eye on the cue ball as well.
It's a very good pot. It's a pretty decent cue ball. I think you'll take that.
Yeah, the one at the top goes as well. He's going to take the one at the bottom. This is thin.
Then 2.5 minutes to go. There is now essentially a dead red. The game is afoot in the Pairs Cup.
Do they have enough angle to come down and deal with that red at the bottom? I don't think so. This is tricky. And the time, they can't waste enough time here. They have to get out. This is far from easy.
What have you got for us, boys? What have you got for us?
Well, he's thinking combination, but I'm wondering if you get the loss of turn, you're leaving an awkward 8 ball for, yeah, I don't know, they're not in a good spot here, whatever they decide to do.
Oh, look for the 3, but, well, all sorts happening with that shot.
Nearly pulled out a moment of magic there. That was still very, very close. But they've just gifted the frame away.
Yeah, that's a really tidy shot as well from James in the scenario. 120-ish. This is hold yourself together time. James Hawksworth to make this 8 ball. And we are Desmond in the Pairs Cup with just over a minute to play. Big, big frame in the context of the night, that one. It was all happening.
And it's their break next, isn't it? Yasar's getting himself ready to break, which shows that they're thinking well out there as well, because 1:15, that's time on the clock for a break clearance, whereas if it was the other way around, They could have maybe got that down to 45, maybe 50 seconds, which puts more pressure on the break clearance.
Well, Yasar's been breaking big. He hasn't necessarily controlled his cue ball brilliantly off, admittedly a small sample size of 2, but
well, he's had one perfect cue ball and one horrific cue ball, so you know
anywhere in the middle will be fine actually.
Yeah.
1 minute 15 to play, 2 each. Yasar Hussain breaking to win. Booming break. Booming break. And the Wolf has a chance.
He does have a chance. Oh, that red and 8-ball going together, awkward. Do you risk the first shot, playing the yellow and going into them? He's going to take reds.
That's a pretty good effort.
Okay. I think you have to take that red now, but got to be careful with the time left on the clock.
Yasar's first experience, by the way, of playing on a 15-second shot clock. Plenty of our top professionals make buzzer beaters look very, very easy. They are not. How good a pot is that?
I thought for sure that wasn't going to reach, and he's giving away ball in hand with 30 seconds.
What an advert for the pace of the cloth that was. We told you it's quick.
I don't think he can leave a good angle here. I don't think he can leave a good angle to get on the 8-ball.
20 seconds left. He may just have a swipe at it.
Yeah, drop this in and try and make a thin cut. That's all you've got.
10 seconds left. Make sure you get a hit at it. Oh, don't rip it.
You can't.
We get a shot. Where's it going? It's going safe. It ends a draw. Wowee. Yasar Hussain nearly pulled out something absolutely ridiculous. But I tell you what, those two look the part, don't they? And so too to Hiten Patel and Jaspal Bhandal. That was a really entertaining game, which is just what tonight needed. And right now, this group is absolutely anybody's, but we still know who our favourites are. Scott Gillespie and Shaun Storry. Match 3 coming up.